Good afternoon. Clarissa here, creator of She Rocks at College. And if you are struggling right now managing college, graduate school, professional school, and your life, you are tired of being all or nothing with one or the other. You're tired of either living your best life and sacrificing your grades or spending all day in the library and never talking to anyone. This is the last stream that you want to be watching right now, because I'm going to be walking you through what it even means to have college and life balance, graduate school and life balance, school and life balance. Does it even exist? What is balance, and how are so many people achieving it? And what is the secret to feeling like you have everything all together? So here is what I'm going to say. The first thing that I'm going to say is that balance is a freaking myth. It is an illusion. It doesn't exist. Most people who are doing a great job balancing their coursework with a full-time job, with motherhood, with a relationship, with friendships. The secret is that they're not doing everything at once. Oprah has said, and it's one of my favorite quotes when it comes to time management. She said, "You can have it all. You just cannot have it all at once." And I personally live my life by this motto. I have so many goals. I have so many things it is that I want to achieve. But I also have seasons in my life where I focus on certain things a little bit more heavily than I would other things. And so if you're searching for a secret solution, some time management, or even a planner that you think is going to get your life together, I'm going to tell you, stop searching for it, because it doesn't exist. If you are really looking to manage your coursework in your life, manage graduate school in your life, manage college in your life, it has to start with this up here, with your mindset. And it also has to start with your heart, where your priorities lie. So I'm going to walk you through the process that I took when it came down to figuring out how I was going to manage a full-time rigorous program in college, working full-time, and also maintaining my household, my relationship with my fiance at the time, who is now my husband, and how I was able to balance all of that. And I'm using the term balance very loosely because, like I said, balance doesn't exist. It's all about seasons and priorities. So the very first thing that you have to figure out when you are trying to learn how to make sure that you're giving your attention to all the things that you consider to be important in your life is to evaluate where you are right now. Think about the different main areas of your life and what you would score yourself in each of those areas. And Zoe's saying that this is coming at the perfect time. She needed this. So I'm glad that you're on right here, right now. I believe in divine timing. So this is something that I want you to follow along with. And if you have questions as I'm going through this, feel free to ask. This is a live interaction. This is a live quote unquote show that I'm doing every Wednesday here on this YouTube channel. It's an opportunity for us to get to know each other, for you to get to know everybody in the chat, for you to ask questions, and for us to have a conversation about whatever topic it is that we're talking about that week. And so this week, it just so happens that we're talking about time management. We're talking about balancing your schoolwork with also trying to live your best life and just maintain the day-to-day things that you have to do as a human being. I mean, it really starts with taking inventory, evaluating, and assessing. You'll hear me say this for just about anything that I talk about. I always say you need to figure out where are you at right now? What's happening that you're even hopping on a video to learn about this? What's going on in your life that you're seeking out answers to this question? What isn't working? What are you struggling with? What specifically are you are you battling in your day-to-day life that you felt the need to hop on a video that was talking about this topic, or to search it online, or to follow somebody on Instagram? And if you're trying to figure out right now how to balance school and life, I need you to take inventory of all the different areas in your life. Now, inside of the College Productivity Kit, which is the planner that I created for college women in particular, college women who are non-traditional students. And when I talk about non-traditional students, what I'm talking about are students who are working full-time to part-time while they're in college. They might be moms. They might be in a relationship. They're typically not living on campus. They're commuting to and from. They're involved in a ton of different organizations. They might be involved in their church. They might be involved in different things on campus. And they're not just managing school on its own. They're not just full-time students. They have a bunch of other responsibilities that they also have to care for while they're in college. So inside of the College Productivity Kit, I have an assessment tool. I'm just going to open it up to that page that I have students go through. And this assessment tool has students grade based off of area in their life how happy they are with each of these areas. And the areas are academic, so we're talking about your grades, your classes, your major. We're talking about finances, so scholarships, student loans, personal money. The other area is friendships and family, mental and physical health, your environment, so where you're living, the school that you're currently at, your home, that kind of stuff. Romance, and I'm talking about romance whether you are single or you're in a relationship. And hobbies, joy, and relaxation activities, which really comes down to your own personal happiness, right? So I have students rate themselves in each of those areas on a 1 to 10 scale. 1 means this sucks. Like, this is the one area of my life that I just cannot get it together. I'm so miserable and I don't know what to do. 10 is, this area of my life is going so well, so freaking well. I'm so happy. I wouldn't change anything. The reason why I have students go through this process is because I want you to understand something that I think is different than what is being said to most college students out there, most graduate students, most medical students out there. And this is what it is. At the end of the day, you are a brilliant, beautiful human being who is so much more than just a student, who is so much more than just a grade, who is so much more than just a GPA. There is so much about you that makes up who you are that has nothing to do with school. You are a whole person who just happens to be enrolled in a program, who just happens to have made the decision that they want to learn some things to help them achieve other goals in their life. And it's just a stepping stone for you to get to where it is that you want to be. So I need you to stop defining who you are and defining your life by what you're achieving in college, because there is so much more to you than just being a student. Am I right when I say that? And so instead of trying to fit your life around college, what if you fit college into your life and you started to integrate the two, weave the two together so that they both worked cohesively, as cohesively as they can, to help you grow into the person it is that you want to be and to live the life it is that you want to live. So many students go so hard in the studies that they lose track of who they are and why they enrolled in college in the first place. Then you have students that go so hard in their life that the academic goals that they had set out for themselves get lost in the crossfire. There is a way for you to have it so that both things can flourish at the same time. But what it's going to require of you is figuring out what areas of your life are important to you in this season. Because at the end of the day, you get to decide what you spend your time on. And if you have decided that you want to be enrolled in college at this moment, at this season in your life, then college has to be a priority for you. And it has to be something that you dedicate time to. But it can't be the only thing, because college is going to end someday. You're not going to be there forever. Hopefully, right? And so what becomes of you when you no longer have that in your life? You can't be so hyper-focused that you neglect your friendships and your family and your health, mental and physical. Relationships that are important to you. Hobbies and recreation in your household and other things in your life, because those things are going to stick around longer than your college, because one day you're going to graduate. And you don't want to walk across that stage and not have anybody there supporting you or to celebrate with, or to have been so burnt out, so stressed, that now your health is suffering and you can't show up for other areas of your life. Once you've taken inventory and you see what areas are really strong, what areas are weak, what you have to do is you have to decide, out of these areas, the low ones, which ones am I going to intentionally start dedicating more time to, because I have decided that that is something that I value, that is something that is important to me, that is something that I care to grow and to enhance right now. And typically I tell students, when I set goals, I don't set, I have goals that I set for the year, right? I have things that by the end of the year would be really nice if I could achieve this. But I break it down into quarters. And when I was a student, I broke it down into semesters. So for 4 months, I would say, what am I focusing on for these 4 months? What are the things that I am going to intentionally create time for? Okay? Because I also don't buy the BS excuse that I don't have time to do certain things. You get to choose where you spend your time. Okay, no one is forcing you to do anything you don't want to do for the most part. If you don't have time for something, it's because you've decided that you do not want to set out time for it. If it's important to you, trust me, if it's important to you, you will make the time. So if you are not dedicating time to something that you would like to dedicate time to, don't look around and blame your circumstances, because you can change that at any point. This is a free country for the most part. Even if you hate your school, you have the choice to leave it. You have the choice to go take your money and your time elsewhere. Yes, does that mean that you might lose some credits? Yes, does it mean that you're going to have to reapply to another program? It's all a part of the choice, but you have a choice with everything in your life. If you are not dedicating time to your friendships because you're hyper-focused on school, that is a decision that you have made. You've decided that you were going to go ham with school and neglect everything else. And if you right now, you want to have both to feel like you're giving a little bit of time to each, you have to carve out that time in your life. But first, what is important to you? What's important to you? What are you happy with and not happy with in your life? And if you're not happy with an area here, if you scored yourself low and you're not happy with that score, what are you going to start doing about it? What changes are you going to start making? How much time are you going to start dedicating to it every week? What skills are you going to learn to help you to change that area? What resources and guidance are you going to seek out to help you to improve in that area? I'm going to give you an example of how managing two different things, how easy managing two different things can be. I'm going to give you two examples. Example number one is going to be how I managed a rigorous program, a relationship, and 2 jobs that equals up to a full-time job. And then I'm going to give you an example of how I'm managing running a company and also working as a registered nurse, part-time. Starting off with the school scenario. So I worked 40 hours while I was in a rigorous nursing program. That was a full-time nursing program, was not night school, was not a weekend school. It was a traditional daytime, full-time nursing program. I also lived on my own. I had an apartment. I had laundry and dishes and food to cook for myself and groceries to do. I also had a relationship that I was in and that I wanted to dedicate time to. And I also had hobbies, a YouTube channel that I wanted to give time to because that was something that made me happy. How did I manage to do all of it? How? Simple. I just first decided what's important to me. In this season, it was school. It was my own personal health and fitness. That was super important to me because it helped me manage stress and it helped me manage my anxiety. My relationship with my fiance, now husband. So school, health and fitness, and emotional health, my relationship with my husband. I also cared about my hobbies, and friends and family were in there too. Work was a given because I needed to work, but I wasn't trying to be the best employee. I was just trying to get in and out, do my job, collect my paycheck, and I was fine with that. Fine, because I wasn't trying to be promoted in that job. It was just a job that was getting me through school. So I did my best when I was there, but it wasn't something that I was stressing about. It was just my circumstance. I had to work. Now, when it came to school, I had set days that were focused on school. Typically, they were the days where I did not have to work. So I separated my work time. I also had 1 day a week that was dedicated to my husband. Typically Sundays were days for me to just hang out with him, do what I needed to do, whatever. And I also made time to work out every single day. Yes, it meant that I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to do so. And I would plug in a DVD, didn't even worry about the gym, 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes, that's all I needed. Wake up, I would have my coffee at 4:30, 5 o'clock I would get my workout in. I'd study for an hour after that, after I showered and ate breakfast. Then it was off to class, into work on the days that I had to work. And the days that I didn't have to work, I was dedicated to school. But look how I compartmentalized it. I had set days for school, I wouldn't stress myself out trying to do schoolwork when I knew I had a full day of work, where I was going to be working at the call center and the restaurant. Why would I put on my to-do list that I'm going to get schoolwork done when I'm going to be at work and it's not a guarantee? No, instead, when it was time to do schoolwork, my butt was at my desk doing my work even when I didn't freaking feel like it. Even when it was hard. Even when I was bored. Even when I didn't want to do it. Why? Because I decided that this was a commitment that I was going to make to myself, that this was important to me. And that's the time that I had. So I had to make the most out of it. I didn't let my emotions, how much I didn't want to do it, how much I was bored, how hard it was, get in the way out of my goals. Because again, if you go back to the video that I filmed last week, I knew what getting that nursing degree would do to my life, the impact that it would have, which kept me motivated. It is all about choice. Managing two things and doing it well is about choice. It's also about managing your emotions around the choice and not letting your circumstances dictate what you can and cannot do, if you will or will not succeed. You get to decide that. You do every day. And there were some points in the semester where I had the conversation with my husband and I let him know, listen, 2 weeks from now, I'm going to have an exam. So I cannot give you all day Sunday. I'm going to need to study a little bit because I have 3 midterms in 1 week. Is it okay with you if I study from 9 to 3 and we hang out from 3 onward? That communication made all the difference. So yes, I would have more days to study and I would have less time with him, but those were just a couple weeks during the semester. It wasn't all the time. So that's what I want you to really understand, is that you dictate what is happening in your life. You are more in control of your life than you are giving yourself credit for. But you know why you're not giving yourself more credit? Because it's easy to pretend like we have no control. Because then we don't have to take responsibility. Then it's okay to complain and give excuses. But when you take the responsibility on that I have control over my life, there are no more excuses. You cannot blame anybody else but yourself. And that's a hard freaking pill to swallow, which is why most people do not succeed to the level in which they want to succeed. Because it's all on them and they don't want the responsibility. But then they want to complain and ask people for advice and not take the advice that's given to them. It's so weird. We are so weird as humans. We complain. We hop on YouTube and we search online and we're like, Can you give me advice on like how to do this, how to do well in my classes? And then someone gives them advice and the first thing out of their mouth is, oh, that's not going to work for me. Is an excuse. Because they weren't really looking for the solution. What they wanted was to complain. What they wanted was for someone to say, oh, here's a quick fix. When there's no quick fix for anything besides doing the freaking work. What they wanted was for someone to say, yeah, it is hard. I totally get you. It sucks. You're not getting that from me. If you're watching me right now, sorry, that is not the kind of advice that I give. I do believe that you need to feel your feelings, go through the emotions and all of that. But I also am telling you that no one's coming to save you. Nobody. You have to save yourself. You have to take responsibility for the fruits that you are seeing on your own tree because you planted it. You planted it. You can't get mad that your tree is producing oranges when you planted the orange tree. You can't complain about how you only have oranges when you never planted a grapevine, when you never planted an apple tree, when you never planted cilantro. The fruits that you see, the results that you see in your life are a direct relation to the actions that you have taken up until this point. Even when something terrible happens to you that is out of your control, you get into a car accident, your school closes down, because I've had students who have come, my program closed down, I'm out so much money, it's not accredited or whatever it is. You still have a choice on how you react to that situation. You still have a choice on what to do. That's where the term, if you have lemons, make lemonade, comes from. You get to decide what happens after the thing that you had no control over happens to you. You can choose to stay in a victim mode where you feel like there is no out. Or you can say, man, this really sucks that this happened. But where's the lesson here? How can I move forward? What can I do from here that is within my control? How do you manage college and your life? You manage it by managing yourself. What's important to you? What do you want to spend time on during this season of your life? Because it directly relates to a goal that you have, right? If you are spending time on things, you should be spending time on them because it makes you happy. It's something that you value. It's something that's helping you to achieve something that corresponds to something that you value. That's how you should be making decisions on what gets your time. Once you know those things, get real with yourself. Are you making the time for them? And if not, why not? Is it really because you don't have the time? Is it really because you don't have the time? Or is it because you're not making the time? You're not being a good steward of your time and you're letting it be slipped and taken away from you by what society wants you to pay attention to. Listen, Netflix has your attention. And every minute you give to a Netflix show is a minute that you're giving to the goals of the Netflix company, the producers of the show, the actors and the actresses on that show. You watching it is putting money in their pocket, is helping grow their goals, and it's stealing time away from your goals and money in your pocket that the degree is going to give you, right? Anything that is media related, Instagram, Facebook, Netflix, they benefit every minute that you spend on those things. And every minute that you spend on doing those things is a minute that you're taking away from your own success, from the things that you want to achieve. Putting that into perspective for you there. You have the time. But when you make a decision to scroll for 5 hours or watch Netflix for 5 hours, knowing that you could be taking action on something that moves you closer to your goals, and you're making the decision to watch Netflix and it wasn't planned. Because there's a difference between planned relaxation time and using it because you don't want to do what you need to do. Okay, every minute that you spend on that, you are taking away from the life that you want to live, from the goals that you have for yourself. You have the time. But when you watch Netflix, what you're saying is, Netflix's goals are more of a priority to me than my own. Where you spend your time and money will tell me what's really a priority to you. And it isn't until there's some type of danger or negative consequence that you're going to actually do the work that you need to do as a student or dedicate the time to it. You want time to spend with your friends? Make the time. Okay? Set a date every month where you and your friends get together. Keep it. Keep that commitment. It's going to require for you to manage the rest of your time during the month better so that when you're with them, you can give your undivided attention to them. Want a night off every single week? Take it. Take it. But the rest of the 6 weeks, you better have a plan on how you're going to study and get your work done. Managing school and life isn't hard. It isn't. It's so easy. If you can do math, if you can draw boxes on a planner and a calendar, you know how to manage your time. You're mismanaging yourself because you're not sticking to the plan that you put in place. But none of us want anyone else to manage us. The second someone tells you what to do, you get pissed at them. You want people to tell you what to do. How do I create a schedule? Show somebody. How do I get myself to stick to it? I can't force you to stick to it. You gotta want it. I can give you the tips, the tricks, the whatever, but at the end of the day, you gotta do it. Someone just asked how to stop depression. I don't know. I'm not a therapist. So I would say go and seek out professional medical help for depression, which is a medical condition. Don't ask random people on YouTube. Seek out professional help. So yeah, managing life in college is easy. It is easy. If you let it be, and if you choose to let it be easy. And if you have plans in place that allow you to make it easy. Now, if you struggle with knowing what to do, knowing how to study, that's a different story. If you struggle with procrastination, 50% of the reasons why people procrastinate is because they don't know what to do. And so that stops them in their tracks, or they're not sure that what they're doing is going to help them to achieve their goals, which comes down to they don't know what they're doing. So if you don't know how to study, if you don't know how to take notes, if you struggle with that kind of stuff, I invite you to reach out to me and schedule a call with me, and we can chat about it if you want. I will put in the comments how to do that. So if you want to have a conversation with me on how to learn how to study, write notes, prepare for an exam, that kind of stuff, I'm going to put it in the comments for you. Just give me a second. I'm slow. Okay, you can go to this link right here. I'm going to put it where you can see it. And you can schedule a call with me, and I can help you to learn how to study, but you're not struggling with managing your time and balancing the two. You just have not made a choice what's important to you. You have not decided where your time is going to go. You have not decided to manage yourself well. Okay. So that is my my spiel for today. I try to keep these conversations to within 30 minutes. I've been on for about 36 at this point. But if you have any questions, you can always email me to hello@sherocksatcollege.com. You can schedule a call with me. The link is over there somewhere. Maggie, you're welcome. I will always keep it real, because I think that's what's missing. I'm so tired of people tricking everybody into thinking that there is a quick fix for things, because there isn't. Everything requires you to show up and do something. Okay? You know, people talk about meditation, and they talk about law of attraction, and they talk about, you know, alignment and like having things just flow to you without having to do any work. All of the stuff that they're talking about still requires work. Meditation is work. Law of attraction, envisioning stuff, it's still work. You still have to show up and do the visualization. You still have to show up and actually do the meditation. So as you can see, the lie that you're being fed that things should come easy is BS. People can make things simpler for you, right? So they can take the guesswork out of it for you. So you know what you need to do and you can just sit down and do it. That's all most people can do for you. The hardest thing is what they can't do for you, which is taking the action. The only time you will get a result is if you take action. And action can be as simple as making a decision and as hard as building a building. But both of them are still actions that you have to take. I hope that this video caught you at just the right time. I hope that if you were struggling with managing the two, that you now see why you weren't really struggling with managing the two, and you know the steps to move forward. Find out what you value and what's important to you. 2, make the time for it. 3, show up for yourself, because you owe it to yourself. Have a great rest of your week. And remember that tomorrow is She Rocks at College Live, a live show that happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a special guest on tomorrow who is going to help you write your graduate school applications. So if you want to write a graduate school application essay that will be guaranteed to get you in, make sure that you're back here on YouTube tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to have Shauna K. Lester on, who specializes in helping students get into graduate programs on their first try. And she'll be talking to us and giving us steps on how to do that tomorrow. I will see you back here tomorrow and also next week on Wednesday. Bye.